Okay, here's my prep for my accidental chicken soup. Accidental because I accidentally defrosted more chicken than I could use in my last barbecue. So I decided to make a soup. So here we're going to have a selection of veggies that I happen to have. You could use whatever you have in the fridge. You don't have to go out and buy anything special. You can't go wrong with this. If you'll notice, the potatoes are cut up into these chunks. And onions, I have some white onion and some sweet onion cut up. That's about 1.5 onions. And a 1 head of broccoli. And these are garlic cloves, which I will be cutting up, slicing them up so they dissolve a bit more in the water, but I just wanted them to be visible here. And then here is a pile of celery. That is 3 stalks of celery cut into about 1-inch pieces. And this is going to go into the pot first because these are more dense and these take longer to cook. And after these have cooked for probably about, I don't know, half an hour, then you can move over to these, which will cook more quickly. If you put them all into the same time, these will all overcook and become mushy, and you'll lose your texture. So here we have sliced zucchini, sweet peppers, we have mushrooms, baby bellas. Here's some chopped up chives, which we already have onions, but I like the visuals of these floating around in the water. And this here is purely optional and not even advised. That is diced jalapeno pepper. I like that little surprise kick in the soup. Not very much of it, about half of a jalapeno diced up there. Then we have some cherry tomatoes that are going to go in toward the end, and shredded carrot, which doesn't add a lot of flavor, but it does add some visual interest as well as some more texture. Then we have some canned butter beans and garbanzo beans, which will go in toward the end as well. Those are optional too, but they add a lot of nutrition, fiber, vitamins, and again, a lot of flavor to the mix. As far as any spices, I like to put a little oregano in. I don't have any fresh, so there's just probably a tablespoon or 2 of that. Black pepper, coarse ground. You always want coarse ground. And then here, you could use, for a stock, you could use chicken broth. I didn't have any, so I found this in my pantry. Cream of celery. I thought, all right, this is way past its sell-by date, so I'm going to use this. What's the worst that could happen, right? So, anyway, so this is how we're going to start. And then you could see about how much there is here, and this is the size of a pot that we're going to use. So, I'm going to put this together, and we'll be right back. Now I've put the can of cream of celery soup in the pot, and I've added 1.5 quarts, so that's 6 cups of clear water. I would recommend, if you want to start with a stock for more flavor, to go with chicken broth, but I didn't have any, so I'm going to go with this now. So this is just a little bit over 1.5 quarts of liquid, and I've got it on a low heat right now. But you can add more liquid as you go, but it's really hard to take it out if you put too much in. So as we add more ingredients, you'll see the level of the liquid rise. And if you see that there's not enough liquid, you can add a little bit more water. And once this starts mixing, then I'll start adding in some of the ingredients, and we'll raise the temperature. Okay, I've added a little oregano to the mix. It's starting to get warm. And so I'm going to start adding the other ingredients. I'm doing this with not enough hands, so hopefully I won't dump it all over the place. And then go the potatoes, and you can see that I've sliced up the fresh garlic. And here come the onions. All right. Oh, An onion overboard. And broccoli. And there we go. Now you can see the liquid level has come up quite a bit. And now we're going to go back and get that chicken. Notice I didn't cut the chicken up. You don't have to. You don't have to skin it either. You can if you want to. Just dump it in whole. Okay? Just like that. Because the chicken will cook very nicely. It'll become very tender. It'll fall right off the bone. I have the bones in there still too. So the chicken will give flavor to the soup, and the soup will give flavor to the chicken. So there we go. We're going to cook this for about a half an hour now. And for those of you at home who are keeping score, you'll see that, yes, I did remember to put the celery in. Right now we're on a medium heat. And when this starts to bubble a little bit, I'll turn it down and put it on a simmer. And then I will cover it up and let it simmer for about a half an hour before I put the other ingredients in. And now let's add the rest of our ingredients. Here's the butter beans. I'm going to put about half the can of butter beans in there. They're actually good as a snack just by themselves, actually. And here's about half the can of the garbanzos. And we're going to dump our cherry tomatoes in. And our last ingredient, the shredded carrot. Okay. And now we're going to switch hands because I am left-handed. And we're going to, well, not we, I am going to mix this all up. All of our ingredients are in here now. And you'll see that as this continues to cook, a lot of this bulk will settle down and you'll probably have enough water, but if you want to add a little bit more, you can. But you can always add more water, but you can't take it out. So, we're going to put the lid on and we're going to let this simmer probably for another 45 minutes and check on it. What we want to do is make sure that the potatoes are the litmus test. They will tell you that if the potatoes are nice and soft and the celery is nice and soft, and check the chicken, if the chicken's cooked, pretty much everything else is ready to go. So we'll be back in a bit and check on this. Isn't that lovely? Simmering nicely. Medium heat. Let's check back in about a half an hour. Well, let's check it out. How are we doing here? It's been simmering for about another half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Chicken seems to be cooked through. Potatoes are nice and soft. Okay, I think we're ready to go here. Yep. All right. So there you have it. The only essential ingredients here are the water, the chicken, the potatoes, and the onions, and maybe the garlic. It gives a nice savory flavor, and you can add anything you want. You don't need the beans, you don't need the peppers, you don't need the zucchinis, you don't need any of that other stuff. It's still going to be delicious. But the more you add, the more flavors you have, and the more you use up from your fridge. So, until next time, this is Chef Dave, and we'll see you later. So there it is. We're ready to have ourselves a delicious bowl of homemade chicken and vegetable soup. And as you noticed, I used no salt and very minimal pepper. You can season to taste, but I think that this will be so flavorful and savory that you won't need to add anything at this point. So, bon appetit!